We're going to be doing all of our tutorials when it comes to managing your website using WordPress. And if you haven't heard of WordPress before, I don't want to say that you've been living under a rock, but not everyone has heard of it. Certainly, if you're not in the web design game or you're new to website management, it's understandable if you haven't heard of it. But WordPress is what is known as a content management system, and its primary function is to manage the content of your website and other website elements. And the beautiful thing about it is that it wasn't invented last Wednesday. It's been around for years. It is an open source platform, and all that means is that there are many, many paid and unpaid programmers who are continually contributing to the WordPress universe. You're probably well aware of some of the security problems that happen online. You've heard of websites or banks being hacked. So it's reassuring to know that WordPress is being worked on constantly and made more secure. And it's also designed to update itself. So as a website owner, you don't have to lay awake at night wondering whether or not you forgot to update your WordPress website. The other advantage from having with having a huge legion of programmers out there who are writing for WordPress is that there are lots of functions, basic necessary functions, aesthetic functions, all kinds of cool things you can add that are available quite often for free. Some of them are paid, and we'll talk about the free and paid plugins that are available if I think you absolutely need it. One of the purposes of this video series is to introduce you to the absolute bare bones necessary equipment that you need to make your WordPress site work beautifully. The other great thing about WordPress is that it's very easy to back it up. There are several options there, and we'll talk about those. You can train your assistant to update your website very easily. If you decide you want to outsource the development or management of your website, there are literally tens of thousands of people out there who are familiar with WordPress because it's so ubiquitous. It's so universally used. In fact, by some estimates, and feel free to Google this to verify it, but by some estimates, there are 27% of the websites on the internet right now that are using WordPress. I feel it's the absolute best option if you're going to be building a website. You may be considering using Wix or one of these other content management systems, and while the argument could be made that they are easy to use and they make nice looking websites, the trouble with those is that you don't really own the material, or you don't really own the platform. So you're really married to Wix or one of these other platforms. So WordPress gives you the flexibility of building something that is really yours. I like the phrase own the racehorse. You don't want to rent your website from someone and be stuck to them, be completely married to them, because the prices could go up, things could change in their company, they get bought out by someone you don't like. The preferred way of managing your relationship with your web hosting company and platform is to own the material yourself and understand it enough to be able to manage the basics. So I'm not going to go on about this too much. If you're not quite sure whether or not WordPress is the best option, certainly dig around and look at the advantages and disadvantages. But I feel after 17 years of building websites that WordPress is absolutely the place to be for your law firm's website. The argument is sometimes made that WordPress websites, well, they look like WordPress websites, and I want mine to look custom. That's a good argument, because many people just use themes and templates that they purchase online. And of course, if you are buying clothes off the rack, eventually you're going to run into someone who's wearing exactly the same outfit. But that doesn't mean you can't have customization done. Companies such as mine, we can help you with creating a completely custom theme for you that no one else out there on the internet has. It's completely new to you, and it's mobile ready. So your website doesn't have to look like a WordPress website. So without further ado, let's move into the configuration videos there, and I'll show you the dashboard and help you understand what you need to do to manage your own WordPress website from beginning to end.